Good evening, good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. You have just seen the mighty Niarco winning the Grand Prix de Paris at Longchamp in 1938. Niarco, unbeaten, bred and owned by Senatore Federico Tesio and Marchese Mario Incisa della Rocchetta under the banner of Razza d'Ormelo Giatta, went to studs and with his progeny completely changed the world of thoroughbred. I have to say that nowadays, wherever in the world there is a horse racing, I'm talking about thoroughbred, at least over 90% of the horses, they carry Niarco's blood. And this is a fantastic achievement. Today, we have a special program because Friday and Saturday, the Breeders' Cup 2024 will be on at Del Mar. I have two guests. The first one is Diego Mitterstein. Diego Mitterstein is from South America, is from Buenos Aires. He produces a magazine. You can see the name Turf Diario, which means Turf Diary. And every day he produces at least 72 pages. I don't know how it is possible, but he does that every day. And he has already produced nearly 6,000 issue of this magazine. The other guest is Neil Maurice. He's a British journalist. He started working for the Press Association, then from the Racing Post. He was the correspondent from Lambourn, one of the two main training centers in the UK, and now is a freelance. Welcome, Diego, and welcome, Neil, to the program.
Hi, Carlo. Big pleasure to be here with you or with Neil.
Can you hear me, Neil?
Yeah, wonderful to be here.
All
Yes,
right.
I can.
Okay. What I have in mind, if we can go through the main races for Friday and Saturday. Analysis, a short analysis, the latest news, if you know something, and of course, your team. Let's start with Friday with the British Cup Juvenile Turf, because there are quite a few also European runners, plus one Japanese, Ekoro Sieg. And, these horses, this is, I think, is quite a difficult horse. I tell you my opinion very briefly. Whistle Jacket is a horse that recently pulls very hard. In my opinion, is not a sprinter because he got everything from his dam side, including the color. Little Big Bear, his full brother, was a bay. And then, in my opinion, is not. The Japanese horse, he dwelt at the start, last time out, and then over 6 furlongs, he came flying in 1 minute and 7 seconds. So now it goes back from 6 furlongs to 5 furlongs. What's your opinion, Diego?
I like so much Whistle Jacket. He have a big experience during this year in Europe. He won the Primorni, also the King of Bahrain Julie Stakes. And his last race was maybe not the best for him. I don't like so much when he ran second to Shadow of Light in the Middle Park Stakes. But I think in this kind of 2-year races, that kind of horses with so much experience are heavy to beat. But Asterios also have a nice race record in Europe and can be a big stone in the way for Whistle Jacket. And the Japanese horse, unbeaten in 2 races. You never know against which rivals he ran, but you need to respect it.
So what's your selection?
I like Whistle Jacket differently.
What about you, Neil?
Quickly with Whistle Jacket, he got his own way in the Primorni. Ryan Moore got the best of the ground, which was along the stands rail, and it was quite a dominating performance. I think that they decided to try different tactics at Newmarket by holding him up. That didn't work out. So my view is he will be trying to go like a bat out of hell from the gate if he possibly can. Ekoro Sieg, a dual winner, both times unbackable. It was just the time that really caught your imagination rather than the horses he beat. They were trees. we really do struggle, don't we, to do collateral form lines between Japan and Europe and America. Very difficult indeed. So I'm going to leave him, and I'm going to go for Asturias. His trainer is very good with this type of 2-year-old. His last 2 performances have been impressive, and I think he will be well honed here for a big run for Archie Watson. I'm going to go with Asturias.
Right. Now we go to the John Deere Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. And here I think that there is one of the 2 nap of the meeting, in my opinion, which is number 1, Lake Victoria, Ryan Moore, and Aidan O'Brien. This filly, Lake Victoria, is unbeaten. She is very fast. Usually she is a front runner, so she should be the one. Will be very, very difficult to beat, I guess. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm agree with you, Carlo. The race record is amazing. 2 Grade 1 wins in England and Ireland. So Aidan Ryan Moore, Coolmore, fantastic pedigree. I think will be the heavy favorite that will definitely win this race. I have a little new in this race because number 3 Corretto will be the Argentinian jockey Jorge Ruiz, and this he will be the first Argentinian jockey to run in the Breeders' Cup. So we want to say that because it's very important for us.
I see. And what about you, Neil?
Well, very boringly, I'm going to state that Lake Victoria, who is an unbeaten Group 1 winner who likes to make the running, she's got the rail. Isn't it interesting that Ryan Moore has been aboard her every morning this week on the backstretch at Del Mar? Doesn't that tell you a story? Listen, Carlo, this is the nap of the day. Anything north of even money, get on.
Yes, it's 11 to 10. There is her price, sorry, because she's a filly. You can find 5 to 4 on, or you can find 11 to 10. So, the bookmakers are, I think that even money is the right price because, she traveled, you never know. But anyway, on paper, it looks absolutely spot on. Then we move to Breeders' Cup, to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. And here, I think that this is a very tough race because we have European runner Al-Qudra, we have Arimatins, but it's a quite open race. What do you think, Diego?
Yeah, first of all, Minaret Station is not it's a non-runner for this race. He was the best scratch yesterday, and I agree with you. It's a very difficult race to make an analysis. You have a lot of horses who can win this race. I like so much the number 5, Zulu Kingdom. He's a local horse, trained by Charles Brown with Fabian Pratt on the irons, and he won the Pilgrim Stake at the Belmont and Aqueduct Belmont at the Big A, and he's unbeaten. But like you say, Al-Qudra is a very difficult rival. He ran great in Woodbine in Canada, finishes 2nd in the Summer Stake. So I will be with Zulu Kingdom, and my second choice is Al-Qudra.
Al-Qudra, your second choice. And what about you, Neil?
I think numerically the Europeans dominate. Numerically, that is, this horse, Zulu Kingdom, looms as a massive threat. I don't know how good he is. I do know that William Buick was given the choice of mounts before the draw. And what did he do? Of course, he went for Aori City, and they have been drawn out in the car park, whereas stable companion Al-Qudra has got a lovely draw in 4 off that rail. 4 off the rail, pretty well perfect under James Doyle. New Century beat Al-Qudra last time in a graded race. I think it was a grade 1. But I reckon here that the tables can be turned. I fancy Al-Qudra to upset the apple cart, not the Appleby cart, but the apple cart in a minor way.
And what about Henri Matisse? Because Henri Matisse, he ran badly last time out, probably because the ground was too soft for him. What do you think?
Well,
not good enough?
You can always forgive a horse one bad run. I think that's one of the ethical rules of betting. I happen not to fancy this horse. That's all I can say. So for me, it would be no.
Right. We move to Saturday, but before moving to Saturday, we will have a little break. Don't go away. Stay with us. As I say, we start on Saturday with the Breeders' Cup, the PNC Bank Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. If you know some of the horses, otherwise we can move. I think it's better to move to the Privagen Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint because we have several European horses that the people probably know them better than in the other race. What do you think, Diego?
It's a nice race. The American will be very good represented with Cockburn, which is the best turf sprinter in the US. He won the last 3 in a row, the turf sprint at Jaipur, the turf sprint again at Kentucky Downs. So will be nice to see him again running. And you have a couple of European runners, very, very good. Obviously, Bratzel is the big name. No, he won the Flying Fight, the Noontorp, was second in the Prix de la Bayeux on jump in his last race. So will be a nice race to see. But I think will be a match between Cockburn and and Bratzel.
Between Cockburn and
Bratzel.
Bratzel. What about you, Neil?
I'm in the other side of the camp here. The two big Bs from the UK, of course, are the filly Believing, who's got the rail. That's not necessarily good news for her. Bratzel is drawn wide, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be a disadvantage to him. He might be able to keep out of trouble. He's got tremendous foot under Holly Doyle. But look, I'm going to give you a horse here who will be a massive price. He's going to be probably north of 30 to 1 on the tote, on the machine, as I call it. And this is Easy Vungu Vungu, who is trained by Graham Motion. And Graham Motion inherited this horse from South Africa. Of course, we all know that Izzy Vungu Vungu, when he was trained over there, was a dual Group 1 winner on turf. He's a horse who is reasonably highly strung at times. And I know that speaking to Graham on the track this morning, he really didn't want to run Izzy Vungu Vungu more than once before the Breeders' Cup. And that one run at Colonial Downs brought about a lovely win in a stakes race. I like the way he got the job done. His form in South Africa is tip top. South Africa are having only their 3rd and 4th ever runners in the Breeders' Cup. I believe they should have had a winner, because if you cast your mind back, a horse that Mike de Kock got out of the bargain rack, if that's the right term, out of Coolmore, Eagle Mountain. Well, he, ridden by Kevin Shea, looked all over the winner of the turf. Kevin will admit that he went too soon and he got mugged. But I think that this horse, Izzy Vungu Vungu, can certainly run a bigger race than his price suggests. He's got very good gears indeed. If he does miss the break, he actually has the ability to make up that lost ground quite quickly. And I think if he turns handily, this horse has got a good each-way chance. Izzy Vungu Vungu.
A nice name.
Yes, now we move the Longines Breeders' Cup distaff. And here I think that we should agree that there is another nap of the week, because it's Torpedo Anna. I think that the one she ran against her own sex, and the way she ran in the Traverse Stakes, just narrowly beaten. I think that she will take a lot of beating. Of course, she will be 2-1 on or something like that, but that is a price. What do you think, Diego?
Yeah, definitely. Torpedo Anna is the best of the year between the 3 years old fillies, and for me, she's running along in this race. You need to scratch the number 3 Batucada, who was scratched today by the veterinarians, and also the number 8 Miss New York. So will be only 8 fillies in the race. Between them will be the Argentinian Che Basora. He doesn't have any kind of chance, and I think definitely the horse to beat is Torpedo Anna, without any doubt.
What about you, Neil?
I know Chad Brown absolutely loves this race. He really does. And he always fields a decent filly. Sometimes he fields more than one filly, but he's got hit one here. She's by Curlin. Her name is Raging Sea. Her last 2 races have involved a grade 1 and a grade 2. One of them, I think, was at Saratoga, the other one in New York. But I think she's on the money here, Raging Sea, and she can give the odds-on Jolly a bit of a shocker. I think she's a big threat to the favourite.
Really? All right. Raging Sea, number 6 for Lil Maurice, and for Diego and myself, Torpedo Anna. Then we move to the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf, and this is a race where there are a few European runners. And then, what's your opinion, Diego, about this race?
Yeah, it is very interesting race. Many Book One winners over there. You have definitely Rebels Romance as the top. He's a very nice horse, 6 grade ones. He won the grade 1 in Germany and Hong Kong, Dubai, Doha, everywhere in the world. Have a lot of experience. Returned to the Breeders' Cup with a 2-year gap, but you have some rivals, important rivals. Maybe Far Bridge is the one to beat, because he won the last 2 races, grade 1 in the US, trained by Christophe Clement. And here we also have an Argentinian horse, El Encinal, who won the last Gran Premio Carlos Pellegrini, as you know, the most important race in South America. But he did very bad in his 2 races here in the US, so don't have any chance for me too. And I think Rebel Romance and Far Bridge are a couple of horses to watch in this race.
If you remember, on the 16th of December 2023, I was there with you watching the horse winning the Carlos Pellegrini. What about you, Neil?
Well, Rebels Romance, he's been to more countries than Alan Wicker, and he really is an equine globetrotter in every sense of the word. Of course, this will be very much a home from home for him. He is drawn pretty wide. I think he's drawn 11 of the 13 runners, and I think that, actually, I know it's a race over 1.5 miles, but it still is significant. He might have to do a bit of work on him early on, William, to make sure he gets in a reasonable posse. I'm actually going to go for a horse in this race who wouldn't be everyone's cup of tea, but his trainer is a very shrewd operator indeed in this race. As you well know, Carlo, looking back, if a man can win the turf with Dangerous Midge, he can certainly win it with JRB, because JRB is a lot better than Dangerous Midge ever was. JRB's form is rock solid. He won the Prix Dollar last time. He's also had victories at Newmarket back in the spring. And of course, what a great performance he put up in the Hampton Court at Royal Ascot. JRB, he's got a plum draw, 5 off the fence. If there was one that I was going to put up with a sentimental view, it would be the mare, Emily Upjohn. I'm delighted to see Frankie Dettori on her back again, because he's won 2 Group 1s and he should have won the Oaks on her. She was unlucky that day. She actually put in a false step, but that was a long time ago. Let's not reflect. She's probably not quite as good as she was, but this JRB, he's really pinging his box, kicking the door down. JRB for me is the one to be on in the turf.
Right. And now we go to the race which everybody is waiting for, the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic. And here, there is Forever Young fantastic Japanese horse who ran in the Kentucky Derby, finished third. We got City of Troy. We got Fearless, winner of the Travers, Sierra Leone, second in the Kentucky Derby. Next, so it's a fascinating race. What do you think, Diego?
Yeah, definitely fascinating race. I am waiting to see City of Troy how he can do over there. First start over there for him. His race record in Europe, he doesn't want to. Everything was okay for him, running from behind, running in the front, same thing. But he will have a couple of very brave rivals, like you see Forever Young, the Japanese horse. He's doing great in the morning too. You see him; he's quiet, like an older horse. He ran a big race in the Derby, won very good last time out in Ohi, in Japan. And also you have, of course, Fitness champion 3-year-old, 2-year-old of last year, and who will try to become the first winner of the juvenile who won the classic the next year. So it will be a very nice race.
Sorry if I interrupt you, but Fairness, I've been told that he's not a good traveler, and when he arrived at Del Mar, he lost weight, he was sweating, but now they say
Yeah.
that he's recovering, that this morning he looked better than the previous day. What
Yeah.
about you, Niels? Neil?
Well, if we look away from City of Troy, I'll come back to City of Troy. Looking away from City of Troy, the two obvious big challenges to him here are Fierceness. We all know that since he went up to upstate New York and took out those two races at Saratoga, he does seem now more the complete article than he was earlier in the year when things didn't work out for him in the Kentucky Derby. And it really interests me when you hear a man of Todd Pletcher's experience to say that City of Troy has never been in a race like this, which is a very, very strong statement, and it means a lot. Let's look at the other horse that we've just discussed, Forever Young. What a race he ran at Churchill Downs, a winner last time back in his homeland. Quite a laid-back character. I've got to give him a massive chance. I think he'll be doing all his best work at the finish, as he usually does. And with City of Troy, there's a dilemma, or is it a dilemma, that from stall 3, they really need to get him out, because there will be a concertina effect here with horses from the outside coming in. And these are battle-hardened horses from America who are very fast away from the gate. Now, could it be that City of Troy, who you may remember, if we look back, completely missed the break in the Guineas, his only defeat this year, in fact, his only ever defeat, and on other occasions, or one other occasion, he's not been so well away. Could it be that since he ran at York, that they've been doing a hell of a lot of work with him at the gate at home? It wouldn't surprise me if they had, because Aidan intimated yesterday, if this horse can get away and not receive any kickback, his chances will massively improve. In other words, what Aidan's saying is, if I could, I'd like to wire the Classic.
Right. So at the end, what's your selection?
Fierceness.
Fierceness. Okay, fierceness. And then we didn't talk about Sierra Leone, because Sierra Leone seems completely neglected even in the market, because Sierra Leone, I'm very surprised, is 12-1. But the Coolmore people are the owner of City of Troy. They bought the breeding right of Fierceness when he will go to stud, and they are in partnership with Peter Brandt and other people in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is a bit quirky. He's drawn on the outside, but he's a very good horse. What do you think, Diego?
Yeah, of course, but he loses every time. Everybody knows. They say that this is the best horse of the year. This is the one. He loses again, and loses again, and loses again. Okay, it's enough for me. He have 4 chances, but he may win this race. I don't like so much because the stretch is very little here at Del Mar, so he needs more time to develop his work. But let's see. I never know. For me, it's not the top horse for this race, but maybe I'm wrong.
So your finally selection for this race?
I like City of Troy, but I agree with Neil. The start will be a key of the race for him.
Oh yes, because if he will miss the break,
Yeah.
end of the story. Of course, he will break very fast and he will lead. That is a different matter because, as you say, the stretch at Del Mar is very short,
Yeah.
so it could help front runners a lot. Then we have the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare, and here again we have several European horses. What do you think, Diego, about this race? The last
Uh,
one that we will take care of.
yeah, I have my heart with Didia. He's an Argentinian filly, Argentinian trainer, but it's not only my heart. She make a big race record here in the U.S. He won the New York this year. He was fourth in his last race here at Del Mar, but it was not good, the trip and the travel from Kentucky. But I talked with Ignacio Correas the whole week, and he says this filly is better than ever. So I trust on him, and I like so much Divya for this race. And let's see about Moira, because she is a very regular mare, and maybe it's the other horse to beat in this race.
Which one, Moira?
Moira, yeah.
Yes, no, I agree because Didia, it seems to me that every time that she races and she won in America is, is underrated, but she's a very,
Yeah.
very, very good and very tough mare. And what about you, Neil?
I'm looking here at a very interesting Godolphin double entry here with Cinderella's Dream, winner of 4 of her 5 this year, including the Belmont Oaks, which I believe is a grade 1, and a grade 2, which was at Saratoga. So she's coming here in the form of her life. She's got a nice post position, I think, in 3. You have to look at her and take her very seriously indeed. I wouldn't completely rule out their other runner, Beautiful Love, who is a nice spare ride for Oisin Murphy to get. You don't often see him riding for the boys in blue, do you? Away from that, there's a South African horse called Beach Bomb, whose mother was a champion in South Africa. Very good horse called Beach Beauty. This Beach Bomb, there's not of her. She is a little pony, but she's a pony with a kick. And I think she could be one that goes into the exactas and all the exotics to really spice things up for us. We need horses like that to get into the argument. But I'm going to actually go with the old woman of the party, if I could be so rude as to say that, which is horse number 4, Warlike Goddess. You can't believe that it was 3 years ago that she was second in this race for trainer Bill Mott. And I think on the basis of what she's done recently, she's got every chance of being in the money again, and she is an American. I'm gonna go marginally with Warlike Goddess over Cinderella's Dream.
And finally, because I forgot, there is the Breeders' Cup Mile. Because then again, we have Ramatuel, Diego Velasquez, Notable Speech, Porta Fortuna. And in my opinion, I strongly support Porta Fortuna because I think that is absolutely fantastic mare. She has a very good turn of foot, and she won very, very good races. Ramatuel could be difficult. She is a filly that she has not a very good physique, but she's entered in the sale. So if she should win here, she will make a lot of money. They paid for this Justified filly only 100,000 euros at the sales, but she moves the legs fast. But in my opinion, is Porta Fortuna. What about you, Diego?
Yeah, undoubtedly. Porta Fortuna is a great filly. The race record this year was amazing. Maybe she can do better than this, but I want to see Notable Speech. He has a turn of foot, amazing. He ran very bad in the Prix de Moulin de Longchamp, but I like the Sussex, the Guinness. He's a Guinness winner, no? Running the mile. So the European will be very strong represented in this race. I like Porta Fortuna, and Notable Speech is my second choice.
What about you, Neil?
Well, Charlie Appleby has won this race for each of the last 3 years. And when you hear him saying that on paper, Notable Speech is the best horse that he's ever brought to the Breeders' Cup, Well, what more would you want? Really? Would you want any more than that? He is a classic winner. I will say he's been beaten twice. They are keen on him. I personally am a little less keen. I'm going to look here at Diego Velázquez as the value pick. I'm not going to say this is a definite winner by any means, the son of Frankel, but he seems to have been getting his act together recently.
Yes.
He could be as big as 9 or 10 to 1. I think if you can get that, that's a lovely each way bet from Coolmore on Diego Velázquez. Ramachuel, as you say, physically, you might not be overwhelmed by her. And she is French. They sometimes ride them brilliantly, don't they? And sometimes not so brilliantly. It can be one or the other. Let's see how Monsieur Lemaitre performs on Saturday. For me, though, I'm going to go in the mile, which over the years has been a very lucky race for me. Diego Velázquez, each way.
Okay, guys, I wish to thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you will enjoy the races tomorrow and on Saturday. Unfortunately, I will watch on TV. Thank you very much for your time, and see you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Carlo.
Thank you, ciao.